Hello, Darren.
Hi, Darren. You all right? You like your light, even at square headlights. Everything's square about it.
Well, you're referring to this?
I do, basically. Maybe that's how they designed the Allegro.
Well, so sorry, you aren't referring to my drawing of a car.
No,
You're referring to a car.
the actual Allegro. There's a film called Street Law. It's an Italian crime thriller. That I love Italian crime films. And it's got Franco Nero in it as a man who takes the law into his own hands and battles this group of Italian bank robbers, kind of like a Death Wish sort of character. And it's good because Franco Nero always, a lot of the Italian crime films has got the Italian actors dubbed by English American actors.
But actors that we know.
Sorry?
Actors that we might know.
No. They're professional dubbing actors, I would say. I assume, generally really well known amongst like the Italian film industry. There was one guy who insisted on having a certain voiceover artist, dubbing artist, because he also did Robert De Niro's voice in Italian films. He was bilingual, so he would dub De Niro and Pacino.
My girlfriend, who, as you know, spends a lot of time in Barcelona, has quite a few of her friends do that work now.
Right. Wow.
Quite a few friends are voiceover actors for dubbing and stuff, and her friend Molly is the voice of several things on several movies.
Well, the great thing about the like Italian cop films from the 70s and that is the dubbing's all, "I'm gonna bust your ass, you goddamn bastard." It's really cheesy. I love it. But Franco Nero's in this film.
My earliest experience
my
earliest experience of dubbing was the TV series Heidi.
God, yes.
And I remember being a kid thinking,
Grandpapa.
why I couldn't quite work it out. It's like, what's going on with their voices?
Yeah.
And why? And the other one would be Monkey.
Yes. Yeah. Loved Monkey.
I can't imagine a world where Monkey doesn't mean something to Darren Riley.
Oh God. Miriam Margolyes was one of the dubbing actors on that. Monkey's so good. But this crime film with Franco Nero, it's good because he's speaking English in it, but with his Italian accent. But it's bullshit. It's kind of odd hearing this Italian accent amongst all the other voices in it that are basically dubbed American actors. So you got this weird thing where the lead guy is sort of like this strange fish out of water. Why has he got an Italian accent when everyone else has got American accents? Don't understand. But in it, there's a scene where he's driving around in his car, and there's even a bit of music in it with a song called "Driving All Around." It's literally what he's doing. I love that very obvious bit of writing for it. But I had to stop the film, pause it, and he's driving an Allegro in a film where there's a Mustang in it. There's loads of Fiats. They could have had like Ferraris and stuff, although it wouldn't have suited his character. But yeah, a frigging Allegro. And it turns out that the design was exported over there, and it was the Italian version was made in Italy. I think it's called the Innocenti. And you think, well done to whoever managed to export an Allegro to Italy. That takes some cheek, that.
I think what I'm realizing is you do know a lot more about cars than me.
In a film.
I'm sort of doing what I do when I'm at a wedding and someone starts talking about cars. It's like, can you believe it? They exported an Allegro to Italy, and I'm sort of going, yeah, Allegro to Italy, as if
you must know Allegros were shit though.
No.
Oh God, yeah, they were absolutely terrible. They were kind of like a British disaster story in terms of business in the car industry. They were really rubbish.
I think you do know about this. I think I've told you about this before. It's quite a long time ago now. Is it about 12 years ago? But I was doing a gig in Nottingham, and I had a hire vehicle. And yeah, this is not a good story, the start of this, but I'll bring it round to what we're talking about. But I got attacked. I got carjacked. I got pulled out.
Oh, no.
Do you know the story?
No, I don't know this one.
Okay. I was with Dave Shepherd, my drummer, and I pulled over stupidly because I just wanted to have a piss. We were trying to find somewhere to park the car, or we were finding a hotel, can't remember.
Yeah.
I was in this hire sort of people carrier. I pulled it over, and a bunch of lads came up and said, "Give us your keys." I said no, and they pulled me out of the car and they beat me up really badly.
Oh, right, I do know this. I didn't realise it was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and my skull was fractured, and I was in Nottingham Hospital for a few days. How are you going to make this funny story about cars, Darren? How does this relate to me talking about it? Well, I was in the hospital and my mum and dad came up. I suppose it's a story that does relate to my dad. Because I'm drawing my dad, the second car I remember my dad having, and you're drawing. What are you drawing?
Second or third. Right. Second or third car that my dad had, the Allegro.
Anyway, I mean, Mum and Dad felt very sorry for me, and you could pay to have the TV. I mean,
yeah,
God bless the NHS and everything, but really, is this a society we're in?
Yeah,
I'm laying with a fractured skull, but I've got to pay for the TV. Anyway, my dad stuck his credit card into the machine or whatever, and I had my TV, and they said go, and I was on this ward. Well, firstly, when I woke up, I was completely concussed, and one bloke was just going, "Sorry about last night, mate. Sorry I said those things to you." And I was like, "What?" Because I was completely concussed. So it turns out, when I turned up, I was crying like a baby and wailing and everything, and completely concussed and out of it. And I think some of my my comrade, my fellow patients were not best pleased with my behaviour when I turned up. Anyway, it's Sunday night, and so I don't know. There's nothing on. It's only like your 4 or 5 channels. So sod it, Top Gear. So I put Top Gear on, and I realised that all the blokes on my ward, like about 5 blokes, were all watching Top Gear. And that's when I realised, in the few times I've watched Top Gear before, that I didn't really understand Top Gear at all. And they would say things like that, they've only gone and used an Allegro in this Italian crime movie. And then Richard Hammond would go, "An Allegro?" And then everyone on the ward would laugh. And it's like, oh, That's I don't understand these jokes. I think I do understand one thing from that night. I think I understand that Alfa Romeos are unreliable.
Yes, they have a reputation for that.
So
see, now I've said that, it's like he does know more than he lets on.
Yeah. So I would like to I suppose the young ruffians that pulled me from a car, stole my gigs takings, and fractured my skull, and made me almost lose my hearing in one ear. I suppose they think they taught me a lesson. Well, they didn't reckon on the lesson they taught me, being that I know about Alfa Romeo's unreliability. I love going on about when I was beaten up. I love telling that story.
I knew about it. I didn't know it was in Nottingham, which is, you kind of hope, though, if you're going to get beaten up, it's going to be in your hometown, so people can come and visit quite easily.
Well, okay. I mean, now the story I'm going to tell now, which is a sort of follow-up story, and this is a little bit. I'll admit that this story is a little bit braggy. I'm bragging a little bit, but also I felt like it's something I had to do. But about a year afterwards, I deliberately booked a gig in Nottingham, in the city centre, did it on my own, and carried my guitar and my wallet through the centre, right past where I got beaten up back to my hotel, and did it on purpose. Did it absolutely on purpose.
Did you have like a massive machete in your guitar case?
No,
I'm gonna find them.
I remember being in the ambulance. I had this sort of everything was hazy and there's blood everywhere. And I remember Dave Shepherd, my drummer then, who was the only member from the band with me, although all of the band were fantastic. They were so fantastic. So many people were fantastic. Actually, talk about your friends gathering around you. I had lots of great people around me when that happened. But I sort of remember thinking, I sort of was sitting in the ambulance, all this blood everywhere, and I honestly wasn't thinking, oh God, am I going to die or what's happening? I just remember thinking, I bet I bloody don't go to the pub for 3 years because I'm going to be so nervous. I was already sort of trying to process the sort of psychological fallout from this episode. I was thinking, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to be a big baby and cry. And so because I'd thought that, I think I was just so determined that wasn't going to be, that wasn't going to be an extra way that somebody won, or that wasn't going to be something that was going to be taken away from me. They weren't going to stop me traveling or going out or playing gigs or anything in the future.
Well, it's good. It's good that you were able to do that. I think it's the only way you can do it, isn't it? It's to try and if you think you're going to be like that, fight it straight away.
Yeah. I feel like this isn't quite as instantly the car in a way that I feel like my drawing of the Mark III is a little more recognisable straight away. Oh, bloody, I need to hurry up. You're way ahead of me.
No, but I'm doing loads of hatching and stuff now. So you've not told me what that model is, have you?
Well, no, I haven't. Well, I did when I was drawing the Mark III earlier.
I already can't remember, but I'm looking at that. It's another Ford. I can tell from the badge.
Yeah.
Was it a Granada?
Well, yeah, it looks quite like a Granada. This is the Mark V Cortina. But
right.
I mean, to be honest, at some point the Granadas and the Cortinas started looking really similar. So I'll take that Granada as a compliment.
I used to struggle to tell them apart as well, to be honest. I always did.
And see, once again, not knowing anything about cars, but knowing an awful lot about the cars my dad liked and the brochures he brought home, I think I could tell the difference. Yeah. I think the back of Granadas have wider, longer lights. And I'm sort of...
Right.
Here's the other thing as well. This car here is where I learned the word terracotta.
What a strange thing to remember. Why?
Yeah, because that's what it was, and so the cars,
right.
You know, in the brochure, and this car I particularly remember my dad going there, walking around, taking me, bringing the brochure home, and sort of involving me in a way that he didn't need to. You know, oh, what about this? Yeah. What about this colour, son? And what about this and that? And you know, as I've also said before, like my relationship with my dad was sort of based on me kind of pretending I liked cars more than I did, and doing what I was doing with you with the Allegro thing, just sort of nodding. But I mean, I went to the British Grand Prix with him several times, and like I don't want to say I hated it, because I didn't hate it, because I was happy to go to the British Grand Prix with my dad. You know, I was happy, you know, to talk about Ayrton Senna or whatever, and I could bluff it and stuff. But yeah, I was doing it for my dad. It's all right though, isn't it? That's okay to do that.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, I remember him. I remember that all the colour names of the cars weren't just like blue. They were all exotic names. And I remember learning the word terracotta. My dad saying, "Oh, I'm going to go for this terracotta Cortina Mark IV." And I am making a bad job of mixing this colour, actually.
Well, but no one else knows. I can't look at that and think that's wrong.
Well, I think actually that would be true in every other case, except for the fact that I've said the word terracotta about 10 times in the last 5 minutes. And I think everyone does have an idea of what terracotta is. So I think I owe it to myself to try a little bit harder.
Unfortunately, terracotta is a slightly darker colour than what you put down, so you can just go over it.
Oh, yeah. Can you see where I'm mixing? Let me move this so you can see. So we're going this.
That looks like terracotta.
Yeah.
Well, you need a lot of burnt sienna or raw sienna.
Burnt sienna, I think. But I think it's also a case of like, I'm getting more and more into trying to get. It's more ready than that. I think that I'm trying to get better at these sort of reflections. I painted some trains the other day that you saw. I did quite a good job there, and I think it does revolve on these like quite strong bits.
Yeah.
And that's quite a lot of contrast, I think, in like reflective paint and stuff. I haven't really been looking at what you're doing much. Let's have a look. Oh, I know that car. Take your hand away a second, Darren. Oh yeah, I know that car. I mean, like I recognise that car from, you know, streets in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. It had a square steering wheel, which was very odd. And my friend told me it was because they'd used, for all the dials on the dashboard, they'd used a particular type that they just had a job lot of. And these dials were a little bit too big. And so you couldn't see them through the steering wheel that they decided to use. So the solution was to make the steering wheel square and give it a kind of a much bigger opening to look through it. But it meant you were driving a car with a really uncomfortable square steering wheel. That never quite made sense to anybody when they were using it.
So this car, So this car became my car.
Oh, that's the one.
Mm. And I do actually remember the number plate of this one. It's ULK242X.
Is it still around? What happened to it?
I have no idea what happened. I can't even remember what happened to it. Can't even remember. I suppose I sold it. I can't remember.
You can look it up online, and it still might be in existence still.
No, that's exciting. Yeah, ULK. So I called it the Incredible Hulk.
Like a northern version.
Yeah. Big orange car. I remember once driving it into art college. I was one of the few people at college that had a car. Could give people lifts, go out drawing.
Yeah.
And I remember once driving into the car park, this big orange Mark V Cortina. And my tutor, a guy called Llewellyn Thomas, looked at me in the car, getting out of the car, and he said to me, that really suits you, that car. That's the car for you. Like, when you're young, people never know, or the adults around you, they have no way of knowing how things stick with you.
Yeah.
These things they say. And I was just sort of so hurt because I knew it wasn't a compliment. This big, brash, orange Cortina that he thought was reflective of my personality. I knew he wasn't saying a good thing. Fucking arsehole. You remind me of a big orange Cortina in a good way.
Yeah.
Is your dad still around, Darren?
He is, yeah. He's got a Volkswagen Passat estate now. He got that for all his fishing gear. But he doesn't.
They're well known for that, aren't they? The Passats.
Exactly. Yeah. It's derived from Poisson, actually. But
Poisson,
barely
like,
leaves
as in fish.
Fish, you see, yeah. It's parked outside Mum and Dad's house, and it barely moves because my mum's paranoid that the minute they drive off in it, someone's gonna pinch their space. And it's that thing, isn't it? It's not your space, Mum. It's just a bit of road and pavement outside your house, but it's not your space. Anyone can park there. She knows that, which is why she kind of bans me dad from going out in it sometimes.
In my last place,
but I went to get it with him. Actually, she remembered. It was Darren, can you phones me up? Can you? Yeah, I'm buying a new car, Darren. Could you you give me a lift so I pick it up? Yeah, sure. Yeah, where is it? Tewkesbury. It's in Gloucestershire. It's near Cheltenham.
All right.
I'm like, okay, I'm in Bolton. All right, Dad. Yeah, okay. So, and I've got part of my main concern was, am I going to be able to have enough to talk to my dad about for the whole 5-hour journey or whatever? And thank God for radios is all I can say.
Well, I mean, that's what cars were for me, as I was saying earlier. That's what cars were.
Yeah.
If I was going over to see my dad, I would sometimes just quickly have a little look at what was going on in Formula One. Okay, right. Jensen Button's doing well. Let's just
yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think I was fooling my dad. I don't think he thought. I think he knew. I reckon he thought Darren's just had a look, but it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, yeah. So we went to Tewkesbury, went to get the car, and the people at the dealers said, "Look, it's not quite ready. We're giving it a full valet for you. So if you can come back in, like, it'll be ready in half an hour. So any time after then, come and get it." So we went into Tewkesbury. It's a really nice old town, beautiful. We went to the cathedral, really, really beautiful cathedral, and it was nice. Well, my dad said, "Oh, should we get some dinner, Darren?" So I'm assuming, yeah. I thought, go get something nice here in Tewkesbury. But Dad being Dad, she went, "I've already had a look, and there's a Morrison's Cafe about 10 minutes from here." So I ended up eating at Morrison's Cafe, which I could have done in Bolton, but I drove 5 hours for the pleasure. But it also reminds me.
You've got a story out of it.
Went to look. The other story was that he went to look for public toilets, and we found one. And he's like, "Oh, bloody hell, you have to pay. Hang on a minute. Have they got a disabled toilet there, Darren?" There was a little disabled block at the end. He said, "That's all right, then I've got a key." I'm like, what do you mean you've got a key? I've got a key to get into disabled toilets. I'm like, but you're not disabled, Dad. He's like, "No, but," talking about his brother. Well, I won't use his name, call him Jimmy. So, when our Jimmy had cancer, they gave him a key, and he passed it on to me just before he died. So my dad's been getting access to disabled toilets for years now, with his free key.
You know what, Darren? One day it's going to be yours.
I'll inherit it.
I think you should ask him. Say, Dad, look.
I think I will. I'm going to ask him before my sister gets in there.
Oh God, yeah! Imagine if your family really fell out over the disabled toilet key.
We're not even entitled to. Sorry. But I mean, you're right. I got a story out of 2 stories out of going down there. Good.
I think I'm bad sometimes for looking at life always in the currency of stories.
Yeah, but what is life if not a series of memories?
Well, I think, as we've sort of said before, sometimes, or I've certainly said this on Twitter before, there's a certain thing that people say to songwriters. I'm sure it's also said to writers and comedians as well. Something bad happens to you, and they sort of say, "Oh, well, that's all right. You'll get a song out of it."
Yeah. No,
and it's annoying because there's a little bit of truth in it, of course.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, but I tell you what, part of the annoyance of that, it is kind of annoying anyway, but it's that thing where it's almost like they're saying, "Oh, you should do a song about that, or you should do a painting about that." They've already decided it's a song-worthy subject when it's not for them to decide, for you to decide that.
Yeah, you sort of, I mean, it could possibly sound a little arrogant, but you sort of hope that one of the skills that you have as you sort of write songs and draw pictures is the skill of choosing what to draw, I suppose,
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. No, this is too bitchy, really. But I think that saying comes in a like, "Oh, you just write songs about anything, you lot, don't you?" It's like, well, no, not really.
No. Your picture's just gone, Darren. Are you still there?
Oh, sorry. That's my camera's gone to low power mode. I think I should be coming back.
All right, there you go.
Sorry, was it gone for long?
No, it just went and it's back straight away.
Just going to plug a little. There we go. Bit too eager down here with this shadow. Can you see? It's just. Let me pull you in a bit more. A bit far away, my camera, isn't it?
What's wrong? I can see the shadow. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's just that orange is bleeding there, and I just need it to dry.
All right.
Sometimes
it's just lightened it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'll go over it in a sec. It's just an example of where watercolors I get a bit too impatient.
Yeah. I'm wondering whether I should colour this.
Well, I mean, I think I've got at least. I've got another 5 minutes to go, if that helps you.
Yeah, it's just a wash. It's almost terracotta, funnily enough. Although, actually, probably Naples yellow is going to suit it more.
Yeah, I think a bit of line on this is going to. I think that's another problem with both the way we draw and trying to draw cars. Is I think the cars always look a little bit like Father Ted's car when he tries to hammer all the dents out of it in Father Ted. Looks a little bit. They always just tend to look a bit beaten up because we've both got a slightly wayward, wayward line.
I'm not afraid to say that this paint has kind of spoiled it for me now.
Oh, let me have a look.
Because it's sitting on top of the ink.
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose
that's transparent as I want.
Yeah, that's that question of like when colours bleed and it's good, and then colours bleed and it's bad. It's a little bit of a conundrum sometimes, isn't it? I can look.
So bad, actually.
I can look up this car and see if it still exists. Can I?
Yeah. I think it. If it does exist, I think you'll be able to find it.
Yeah. This is actually. I wouldn't want to over-egg it, but it's a tiny bit. Just a tiny little bit emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice thinking about my dad.
I mean,
that's what I mean. It's emotional in a nice way, not distressing.
Yeah. I think it's really nice as well. It may be nicer than the other one I saw you draw.
Yeah, I'll put them together in a sec and we can have a little look. I think that the other one definitely looks a bit more like the car. There's something about the. Oh, that's nice. I'm enjoying that slightly dirtier shadow I'm doing now. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you do a last little bit and it pulls the whole room together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Little car-based facts that is almost entertaining is we bought our first car, myself and my wife, from Dave Spikey, the comedian. It was his wife's old car. That's it. Nothing more to say about that. Just amuses me.
It's like that thing when you say to an American from London, and they say, "Oh, do you know the Queen?" And it's like, you brought a car from one of two people I know are from Bolton, which is Peter Kay and Dave Spikey.
Well, Peter Kay did a show with a series of one-off stories that came before Phoenix Nights.
Yeah,
one of the characters, that Peter Kay thing.
Yeah, and wasn't the idea for Phoenix Nights inside it? Wasn't there like
possibly. I can't. I think it might have been. I think it was called At the Club, that episode. Yeah. But in the episode with the ice cream man, Mr. Softy, who's selling porn from his ice cream van, Mr. Softy's assistant was named after me and Dave Sparky's son.
You had a child with Dave Spikey?
No, no. But the Darren in that show, he's called Darren. It's right. Me, my name. That's where it's from.
Here's a thing. Sometimes with drawing. Actually, hold on. I've got other views of this car. Because what I'm thinking is, my dad's car had a wing mirror this side.
Yeah.
It does, but for some reason, you can't see it in this photo. But it's an example of one of those things where you can't see it in a photo, but I feel that you should be able to see it. So I'm going to tell a lie.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh God, fuck that though. I have got nothing to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course I have. You know, of course I could give some thought to something I could do.
Yeah.
But it's my first night in for ages.
Yeah.
I think I've got an idea for another one of these. I think
another car drawing.
Well, maybe it could be cars, but I'm thinking.
You mean another video?
Yeah.
I may have to ask permission.
Oh, not now necessarily, but I'm wondering whether we should do something on Hill Street Blues. You've just recently watched the first episode of Hill Street Blues, and I'm wondering whether I should watch an episode of Hill Street Blues. And maybe it's not car-based so much, but maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm quite into the car thing now. I'm really surprised at how much I enjoyed this. And so, I don't know, like maybe you could do some of the characters and I could do some cars and we could talk about
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
And then, but I'm thinking like, also wait for me to watch the first episode of Hill Street Blues so we have some reference, you know.
I might watch another one tonight. I've been meaning to watch another one because I was gripped. So yeah, do that. It's good. Be a plan.
I'm really pleased with these.
Sorry? Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
I'm sort of wondering whether painting 70s cars, you know how I always think about money with art. I'm sort of thinking, oh, actually, I haven't put all three of them in shot. Actually, here's all three of them.
Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Shall I put mine? You want to see mine? Can I fit mine in? Let's move this camera up. Well, you've just gone sideways again, Darren.
That's because my lady friend was trying to ring me. Wow. Well done us. Good drawings.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't know. Which do you prefer of yours?
As mine, the Allegro, because I like the lettering more in it.
I think the Allegro all round is a better composition.
Yeah,
it sits on the page better and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay then. Shall we say goodbye?
Yeah. Jolly good.
Goodbye, Darren.
Bye, Darren.